Like, how much blood am I going to keep losing? Is this going to keep happening? Is it not going to stop ever? Like, there's crazy thoughts that go through your head.
Kristen Doute is reflecting on a recent health scare. During the latest episode of her podcast, The Balancing Act, the Valley star, who's expecting a baby girl with her fiancé, Luke Broderick, opens up about being told she had a, quote, threatened miscarriage after experiencing heavy bleeding.
So we had a scare last Friday. I started bleeding really heavily. And it was out of nowhere. We were just on the couch. I wasn't doing anything crazy. And I just panicked.
And after her doctor advised her to go to the hospital, the couple drove around to 3 different emergency rooms, all while Kristen was worrying about what was going on with her body and her baby.
But I'm still bleeding, and that's the scary part. Like, and I don't know what this means because I'm in full panic mode. Like, how much have I actually lost? Like, how much blood am I going to keep losing? Is this going to keep happening? Is it not going to stop ever? Like, there's crazy thoughts that go through your head.
That being said, they did receive some assurance as to where the bleeding was coming from and that their baby was healthy.
So what we think happened is that there was a shift in my placenta. The blood was all mine. The blood was not the baby's. We did find out at the hospital once we got in to do an ultrasound. We saw her on the ultrasound. We saw get emotional. We saw her heartbeat. We got to listen to her heartbeat. The tech was so fantastic at making us feel good and making us feel calm in that way, and let us see the ultrasound. And she was moving on there, moving and shaking, nothing was wrong. So that was enough for me to I don't care if I'm bleeding. I don't care what's happening down there as long as she's safe.
And while Kristen wasn't able to see her OBGYN after being treated by emergency personnel, she was given paperwork that said she had experienced a, quote, threatened miscarriage, which she calls, quote, the last thing you want to read, especially after you saw an ultrasound and the baby is totally fine. And at the end of it all, the couple didn't feel alone in their experience and were relieved to learn that it's not uncommon for women at Kristen's stage of pregnancy to go through something similar.
We did also read that this is the timing of this at the end of the first, beginning of the second trimester is the most common time that it happens.
If it were to happen.
If it were to happen, right? If you're going to have bleeding in a pregnancy, that's going to also still be successful and healthy.
Yes.
At that time, there can be heavy bleeding and not affect the child at all.
Right. And I think that's what frustrated me the most, because I'm I'm past the time. I'm past the scary time. I'm past the danger zone. Why is this happening? But it was all fine and great and well, and it wasn't her blood, it was mine, and everything's fine.